Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are watching. Let's get into 90 Day Fiance Love in Paradise. Actually, the full title was Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, but I think they had to change it because some of the places they went to were not the Caribbean. They were actually Central and South America. So it made more sense just to change it to Love in Paradise. How is everybody doing? Let me look at the chat. Tony Man says, I'm here, 90 Day fam, roll call. Chris says, hey, Shasha. Hey, Tony Man. Tony Man asks, hey, Chris, now where's Fo? And here comes Fo saying, hey, everyone. So the gang is here. We can get started. Let me get my imagery lined up because I took a lot of screen captures. Let me put up the first one. Well, no, that's the whatchamacallit. Who I want to talk about first because I just want to get them out of the way. Because I'm kind of covering both episode 8 and 9 because not a whole lot happened in episode 8, but one thing did happen that I do want to talk about. I don't know where I have everything backwards here. There it is. Here we go. Danielle and Yohan got married on the beach, and it was really nice, pretty wedding. I was surprised at first that she wasn't wearing heels because she came out in her wedding gown and she had on these flat sandals. And I was like, you are 4 foot nothing and you're marrying a man who's 6'5" or 7, something like that. And you're wearing flat shoes. Like you just want him to have to bend over halfway to kiss you. But then I noticed that it was a beach wedding. And if she wore heels, they just would have sunk in the sand. Even if you're wearing wedges, they might sink in the sand. So I get it now that I see the location, which looks absolutely beautiful. Look at the background. Very, very nice. Tony says, needless to say, because you look it every day, but I'll say it, you look nice. Thank you. I did half of a face beat, and I've upgraded from sweats to loungewear. This is loungewear. It's a whole lounge outfit. This is actually a top and a lounge pant. And I guess you can kind of consider this like they list it as a cardigan, but it's kind of robe-like. But yeah, this is loungewear. And maybe for my next live stream, I'll actually untwist my twist out and see if it actually works. Sorry, I'm still in my quarantine chic. That's what I'm going to call it. Who else do we want to talk? Do you guys have anything to say about this couple? Because I'm totally bored by them. I don't really have much to say. There was some scenes afterwards where, let me see here. I did take some. Where they, were in a hotel room afterwards talking about her leaving and going back to New York and how she's going to come as many times as possible during the year. And then she's going to spend the summer. And then they take a pregnancy test. And I like really didn't care. Oops, wrong way. And he was acting like he's never seen a pregnancy test before, even though he has 4 sisters who have had children. I'm like, how have you never seen a pregnancy test before? I don't believe you. So that's all that happened with them. And at one point they, rode back to the airport and said their goodbyes. But that's all I have to say. I mean, it is what it is. This is them saying, heading back to the airport. He's dropping her off to go back to New York. And I don't know. Do y'all feel like this is even worth exploring? Because their relationship is so... We've seen it before. This is like a 90-day trope. So much that we've seen it before. And it's kind of boring. The only thing I can say about it is that he is very... he looks in America through rose-colored glasses. And he really thinks that if he comes here, he'll have a better life. But she's trying to explain to him, and her saying that she pays $4,000 a month for rent. Not even a mortgage. Rent. She's trying to get the hell out of New York. He's trying to get to New York. He doesn't understand how there are people in New York that they have to eat ramen noodles to pay it while they pay their rent. Like it's not the best place to try to come to. If you think you're living hard where you're at, I mean, try living that way, but also it's cold and snowy. I don't know. A lot of people they think that poverty doesn't exist in America. It certainly does. Tony Man says it was pretty much nothing to me as well. 90-day wash, rinse, repeat. Long distance ass marriage. Exactly. It's just because she wants to move to Dominican Republic, or she actually would possibly be able to have a nice standard of living if she's still receiving like pay from America. She says that she's been teaching for over 20 years, so maybe she has enough time in to retire. So if she has enough time in to retire and her retirement check can cover $4,000 a month rent in New York, then she would live pretty nicely. Hell, she'd live nicely if she just moved to the Carolinas or Florida somewhere. You don't even have to go all the way down to the Dominican Republic. Just move out of New York. Just move the hell out of New York and you'll do a lot better. Although a lot of these New Yorkers and Californians are kind of messing stuff up for us here in Florida because they moved down here and all the prices are going up because they're here, because a lot of places are dead ass charging them more. Okay, let's get somebody else out of the way that I'm. Let me see. No, I want to save them for last because that's the best story, in my opinion. Yeah, let's talk about. Chris says if he's dead set on kids, that'll be a big issue for them. Yes. Because she already is experiencing, it looks like she's going through the change already. Which is very interesting to me because depending on your family history, it happens. There's such a broad spectrum of when it happens for women. In my family, most women don't go through it to their 60s. So it's like being 40 and having a baby was like nothing. Well, in my particular family, like I have at least 3 aunties and my mother who've all had tubal ligation to stop themselves from getting pregnant. And I have one story that my grandmother told me about her cousin. who the doctor told her that she didn't have to take birth control anymore because she was in her 50s and the likelihood of her getting pregnant was nil. And she got pregnant. She went back and smacked the doctor. True story. This is in the 1950s or 60s or something like that. Whenever birth control first became available, I want to say it was late 50s, early 60s, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the doctor told her, "You're in your 50s. You don't even need that." And sure enough, she got pregnant. She was like 54 years old, had the baby. But yeah, so let's look at, and I like to have these little screenshots of the areas too, because one of the reasons I really love watching this show is to see different parts of the world that I'm too broke to travel to. And I believe they're still in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and it looks really beautiful. Look at the mountains behind the cityscape. And of course, Abby and Gabby are back together. They are happy. You know, they've, I guess, settled their differences, which is very, very interesting. I if I were Gabby, I don't know whether I would trust Abby so much anymore, but that is what it is. Let me bring that back up. The drinks look nice. Look at those drinks. That what's odd is that that looks like a martini glass, but what's in it looks more like a mimosa than a martini. But on this show, we've seen this before. We saw somebody have a margarita, and it was in a whole um like a brandy glass. So, like, people are just they're these glasses used to be assigned to different drinks. There were different types of glassware for different drinks, but I guess not anymore. They go to the hot tub and talk about how much they love each other. Foamy Lighter says my great grandma was still having kids at the same time as my great grand. Wait, my great great grandma was still having kids the same time as my great grandma. She told her to stop. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I'm over 20 years older than my youngest sister because my parents were still having children. My stepmother had my sister when she was 43 or 44. And then, I mean, I think she had to start taking birth control again until, I mean, until whenever, I guess, because this whole not being able to have a baby at 40, I don't know whether it's um, a cultural thing or not cultural, I should say genetic thing, because it doesn't seem to, just in anecdotally in my experience, it doesn't seem to affect women of color as much as it affects European women and European American women. That's just what I've seen. I could be mistaken. Oh, also, before I take this picture off, well, actually, I have a better picture of her to talk about that when I think about it. Some people were very, very confused about Gabby's hair. And I'm like, there's nothing to be confused about. Let me pull up that picture of her and her talking head. Like, somebody actually put on Twitter, I can't remember who it was because I didn't save the tweet. I should have saved the tweet or I should have retweeted it so that I could find it again. But I was just scrolling through quickly. And where is she? One more. Nope. Thought it was closer. There she is. People were actually thought that she had a wig on over her locks, and that's not it at all. She literally just has her hair in two different, I guess I would call it states, two different states. She has locks from probably here down in the back, and then she just has her loose hair in the front. That's all it is. It's not, it's not a mystery. It's just something that we're not used to seeing every day. I'm actually not mad at it. I actually like the way the front of her hair looks, the wave that she's got going there, and her locks look like they're well formed. They don't look like, haphazardly done. They look like they're well done. So it's just a new hairstyle we haven't seen before. Shout out to you, Gabby. Tonyman says white women having kids at an older age risk having special needs kids, in my opinion. Oh wow. That could be an issue. There should be medical studies about this stuff so that people know. Or if there already are medical studies, they should try to raise the profile of them so that more people know about what the results are and stuff like that. I like this blue that Gaby has on also. All right. More talk about them. There is a point where they end up having a video conference call um with Frankie, but before that happens, I want to say Frankie talks to his friend. And I want to show that because there was something I really, really noticed. This is Frankie's neighborhood. I'm going to make myself smaller and make this bigger just so you guys can see. Nice, quiet. I would call it probably a cul-de-sac. It's probably a cul-de-sac because I can see the house curving over here. So that's probably a cul-de-sac down on this end. And we see Frankie's got his hands up. You know, this is me. Now, what I want y'all to notice that I noticed is check out Frankie's kitchen because I noticed stuff like this. I've been wanting this refrigerator right here, this one with the touch screen. I want that refrigerator so much. A dream of mine. But also we have granite countertops. It has a sunk-in stainless steel sink, and I'm quite sure just the faucet on this mofo is expensive. Like I'm just looking at the whole setup. The lighting up here. Very, very nice lighting. And that's not the only lighting. He also has some recessed lights. I wonder if I caught a glimpse of that. Also notice that it looks lived in. You see there's dishwashing detergent here and paper towels that have been used and, you know, various things in the back. He's got pictures on the side of the refrigerator. Looks like he lives there, unlike someone else we know. I took a close-up on this sink because, like, that and the faucet. That's a nice faucet. I mean, it's not the prettiest faucet, but it's the most functional faucet. I bet you went for function over glamour. I respect it. Nice setup with the I would say it's more of a breakfast table than a dining table. But he goes out and talks to his friend Rodney to go out to the screened in patio, which is always nice to have. And Rodney basically tells him, you know, I was not cool with you not showing up to Mexico because then that kind of put everything on my shoulders to talk to Abby and Gaby about what was going on. Oh, a couple more comments here. Faux Mickey Latte says, I was surprised that Gabby's hair could lock. I bet she wears it like that for professional reasons. I bet so too. I bet she can tuck her locks underneath her hair when she's at work, and then when she's not at work, she can do her hairstyle where she does the updo, and you can see more of the locks than her hair. But her hair texture, it doesn't look. It looks a little bit textured. Like her hair actually looks. The front of her hair looks like, if I had to describe it, like the way Yaki permed hair looks like when you buy the tracks. That's the way her natural texture hair looks. It doesn't look like it's super straight. Tony says also my younger sister, born in 77, went through the change at an early age. She kept saying the men all pause. I get it. Wait, I'm still shocked Frankie turned out to be such a jerk. I think he got cold feet. I thought that he thought himself that he was about that life, about having, you know, a menage a trois, and then when the reality hit him, I think he punked out because it was more than he was willing to take on. I think he probably really just wants a regular relationship. And at the time, this seemed exciting. It seemed like something he wanted to go for. But then when he really thought about it, he really didn't want to go there. But he should have faced up to it. He should have went down there and faced the music. He kind of punked out on, there's nothing wrong with changing your mind, but how he did it is what makes him look like a punk to us, because he should have faced the music. Tommy says, and don't you fire shots at my man Belial. I am firing shots at Belial. I'm glad you picked up on what I was dropping. Fo says Frankie could have afforded to have 2 wives. Yes, he could have. He could have. Just looking at his house. And I'm not done looking at his house, by the way. So, you know, they're out here, look like they're drinking Heineken. If I had to guess, that looks like it might be a Heineken bottle, but it could be something else. But yeah, so Rodney's just like, you left me out to the dry because you didn't show up. And Frankie's like, well, you didn't have to say nothing on my behalf. I didn't ask you to speak on my behalf. You could have just said you don't know what's going on and kept it, you know, pushing. So that's how that conversation ends. And I think that they're gonna reconcile because as friends they did speak openly to each other about what their concerns are. And I think that makes for a better relationship with your friends and with your family if you're able to openly speak about things that bother you. Okay, now this I want to say is Colombia, but I don't want to come there yet. I want to go to Jamaica first. So let me go. Actually, before I go to Jamaica, let me finish talking about Frankie's house. Now you see this, how I said it looked lived in? And I said those aren't the only lights. You also see these recessed lights underneath here. Nice, really nice cabinetry. And like I said, it looks like he lives here. It looks like he sits on that couch. Very, very nice looking home. And he has not once, I also like this dining table. This not dining table, but like I forgot what you call it, like those tray tables for like if you want to have a TV dinner. Maybe it's called a TV dinner tray table. I really, really like this one. I don't know where he got it from, but I'm gonna find it because I really, really like it. And I think I got a glimpse of a chair, but before I get there, I almost forgot. He did end up video calling Abby and Gaby, and Abby tried to press like a Uno reverse card on him and try to act like it was his idea to leave or to marry her and then bring Gaby over when he never mentioned any of that. So Abby, you still lying to Gaby, and that's not cool. But Gabby's gonna find out when she watches the show, which leads me to something else that I'm disappointed in. Why don't we have a reunion show for Love in Paradise? Why we should have a reunion show? There absolutely should be a reunion show because I want to see how people reacted to seeing the things that have happened on the show. That's not cool at all. After this conversation, Frankie, ends up deleting. Hold on, let me find it. I'm pretty sure I took a screen capture of that. I think he started deleting their pictures off his phone. There he is, deleting all the pictures off the phone, all the evidence of their previous relationship. He was salty, but it happens. More pictures of this lovely house because, like I said, and I'm going to keep comparing him to Bilal because he has a nicer house and has not once mentioned his assets or prenup or his generational wealth because he just lives it. He's real. At least what the impression I'm getting looking at this, I believe that this is his. I don't believe that what Bilal has is his because he makes too big of a deal out of it. You don't have to make a big deal out of things if you have it like that. So as he excuses himself back out to his screened in patio, I'm noticing, y'all tell me how much this grill is back here because I think that's one of those expensive grills that I always walk by at Home Depot because I know I can't afford it. But that's what that looks like. The type that have the smoker installed in it. I don't know if you guys know the type of grill I'm talking about. The grill's like any grill that's like over $250 is like a lot for me. And that type of grill looks like the type that I walk by that are between $850 and $1,200 grills. Like I don't even look at them. I'm like, it's not, it's above me. I cannot look at that just yet. But that's the type of grill he looks like he has. Filmic Lights says a reunion show wasn't in the budget. Yeah, because this is probably their least, or the show of the 90-day universe that has the least amount of budget. I believe that for sure. Tonyman says Sean only has so many monochrome dresses for one reunion show. Sean definitely can fit in this show. She could fit in a reunion. She only does the reunions like twice a year. She could fit in another one. Chris says, I want one of those so bad. Yeah, the grill, But I'll show you something else that I really, really wanted. Like Tony Man says, look at his weight. He spent big money on a grill. Hey, I would eat at his house. I would eat at his house every day. I bet you he cooks well. But this right here, you see that chair? I've been wanting a chair like this. And the cheaper version of that chair is like at Target for like maybe $300 or $400. But there are other versions of that chair like this that they can go up to. There's some that go up even beyond $897. There were some that were like $1,500, but I only looked up the chair that was like halfway doable in my mind. That chair sitting right there. Meanwhile, Bilal is running around in a 10-year-old C-class Mercedes talking about his assets. This dude was sitting in $800 chairs, $1,200 grills, beautiful home, recessed lighting, granite countertops, and has not said one word, a single word about all the nice things that he has. Not a single word. That's what's up. He said he just lets it speak for itself. I appreciate that. Shout out to Frankie for that. Now I'm going to go to Jamaica against my better judgment because I really didn't want to. This is the other couple that I really could care less about. Like the first couple I could care less about is probably Yohan and Danielle, but the other couple I could really not care a lot about is Sherlon and I forget what's her name. I think this is Jamaica right here. Does this look like Jamaica? Looks beautiful. I believe that is Jamaica. Fo says the grill is definitely at least a G. Yes, thank you. I know that grill is pricey. So, oh nope, that's not Jamaica. I thought I had it queued up. My bad. That was Dominican Republic. But you can see how I can make that mistake. Look at the watercolor. It's like the same. It's just so you can see how I can make that mistake. I think this is in Jamaica, and then we get to see. Look at that. This is what what's her name? Ariella? Is she another Ariella too? I think her name is Ariella too. Um, this is what she wants Sherlon to leave to come to Illinois. Are you kidding me? Look at that. I'm gonna go back. Look, you want him to leave that to come to Illinois? No, I wouldn't do it. This is paradise. One thing I did notice when they were walking is that she walks with her head down like this, like the whole time. Her posture, her head is always down like this. And I mean, we know that she has challenges with self esteem, but that just really illustrates in her carriage her self esteem. Even there, the whole time, walked with her head down like that. It's really, really unfortunate. Tommy says, you could show me Clearwater Beach, and they all look the same to me when you're looking out to the water. Well, it's the same ocean. It's the same ocean. You got to see in the Florida Keys. Oh, this is fairly what it looks like when you go to the Florida Keys as well. But I had to suffer through listening to Sherlon trying to flirt with her, and they talked about how they got it on, but they used condoms this time so that there wouldn't be another Odin. And I mean, I don't like listening to Sherlon trying to flirt at his old age, sounding like an eighth grader. It's just, ugh. But Ari liked it, so I guess I mean, who am I to tell her what to like and what not to like? She likes it. The only thing is, she's still. I mean, Sherlon is telling her he's going to make an effort to try to be faithful to her, but I don't know whether I believe that he's capable. Do y'all believe that this man is capable of being um, monogamous with Ari? Because I have doubts. Definitely have doubts. And that was her last, talk with him about being monogamous. And I mean, I wish I could care more, but I don't. I'm very sorry. I mean, y'all have a beautiful baby, but I feel bad. I feel bad for your situation. I don't see it working out. All right, now let's get to the more juicy story that I really liked. I enjoyed watching. And it's going to be in a couple different parts because I'm talking about episode 8 and 9. So I'm going to talk about a little bit what happened in episode 8 and then go into what happened in episode 9. So let me go back. Here we go. Chris says, I don't see him being faithful. Yeah, I don't see it. Tony says, nope, he's the how Stella got her groove back type of dude. And Foe says he needs to stop sleeping with her. No, he don't want to be monogamous. So it's unanimous. No one believes this man. Let's talk about VaLentine and Carlos. Now, this is in Colombia. And I forgot the town, though. But you see it says bebitas bien frias. Drinks that are good and cold. Comidas, that's food. Típicas, not sure what, I mean, I'm guessing it might mean typical, but I'm not sure what típicas means. It's been a long time since I studied Spanish, but I'm trying. So in the last episode, Carlos went to go meet with his sister to tell tell her that he is gay and that he is in a relationship with VaLentine. He was very worried about his sister accepting him. And I kept on looking at Carlos across from his sister and how they, even though if they were to come to America, they would probably be put into two different racial classifications, even though they're siblings. And it reminded me of how many people were surprised and confused at, oh God, it was a Disney cartoon that just recently came out. Why I can't remember it. Where the girl, somebody tell me what Disney cartoon this was. It was, the girl was trying to get her magical gift and all her siblings had their magical gift, but she hadn't gotten hers yet. And she was like overdue. And this is the way she looked with her siblings. What was that movie called? It was a really beautiful movie. It made me cry, but now I can't remember the name of it. It was a really sweet movie, but that family was also Colombian. But I remember reading tweets about it and people being confused. Thank you. Tony Mon got it. Encanto. That was the name of it. There were tweets where the people were confused about why her siblings look different from her. And I'm like, this is a thing that happens often, not just in the Latino community, but also in Black community. We come in a lot of different shades. So it was cool to see a real life family represented like this on television. We haven't seen that since probably the Cosby Show. Because I remember in the Cosby Show, people had those same questions, but literally there are families that look like that. My family looks like that. So it was cool to see. Now, the good news is that his sister said that she will accept him regardless because he's her brother. And I was so happy to see that. It was really, really a nice scene. There's a point where they're holding hands and talking to each other about how she's going to support him. And then VaLentine spoke to her was thanking her for being so accepting of not only Carlos, but also VaLentine. And then she ends up hugging VaLentine as well, which I thought this was a great wrap up for that storyline. Because Carlos had talked about this throughout the duration of the season, being worried about coming out to his family. Now, being on the show, he's pretty much forced to come out to his family because when the show airs, they're going to know. So it was a nice wrap up for that storyline. I really enjoyed that. Later on in the show, which was really cool to see, and this is where, I mean, it really stole my heart watching this. I loved it. VaLentine starts to set up for what's going to be his proposal. And this is one of the staff that was at the resort that was helping VaLentine set everything up. And she's telling him that she's setting up the candles, she's setting up the tiki torches, and he has these word or letter art out there. And in each one of these things here is a light. And then behind it is going to be the tiki torches. I thought, oh my goodness, this is a really nice setup. Very, very well planned out. I mean, very, very nice proposal. And I think what can do it better justice is video. I took a little bit of video because it's just describing it was not going to do it justice. See this here before I play the video? This was his sister's reaction. This is so beautiful. That's my reaction. That's all of our reactions. But let me show you the video of it because it was really nice. It's gonna play without sound because I don't want to get dinged for the music that was playing behind the scene. Because sometimes even if um, we're able to view something and talk about it as a commentary channel, and you might still get dinged for copyright just because of the music played behind it because of these music companies. They're not playing with us. But let me play this scene. That's going to drop out from in front of it, but he comes and he's got everything. You see the tiki torches behind it? There's the roses there, and I mean, this was impeccably set up. If I don't say so myself. And to do this, I mean, it would be hard enough to set this up in the United States. I think it's even harder to set something like this up in a country that you're not even from. Like, you really, really had to put some work into getting things prepared this way. Also, like, look at the shoes. Those are nice. Simple. You don't have to do all this extra stuff. I like simple. Even the little bags with the candles down there. He was talking to your lady. I think her name is Joladi. That's what she pronounced her name as. The only thing I would say is, Carlos, go up a size in the pants. Those, I feel like you're going to split those when you sit down, but they could be the type that have like a 15% spandex so that they're stretchy, but still, I don't want to tempt it. I would have went up one size. You can see Carlos is overcome with emotion. And his bun, do you see how sleek that bun is? When he bent over and you can see the bun and the top of the bun on his hair, it's not. You see it? Hold on, they're gonna look at that. That's not a sloppy regular bun. He put some effort into that. But he usually does. I forgot to mention in the scene when he was sitting at a table with his sister, his beard was glistening. I don't know what he put in his beard, but whatever he put in his beard, it made it look like there was little sparkles in his beard. And I was like, that's cool. That looks moisturized and taken care of. But of course, why would I expect him not to take care of his beard when he literally takes the time to shape his mustache? A person that is going to take the time to shape their mustache is definitely going to take the time on their beard. Chris says it was a really sweet proposal. Yes, it was. I called it, I wrote in my notes, proposal of the year. What we're not hearing is he's singing a song that he wrote for Carlos, and it sounded really nice. A lot of people were in the first episode when we saw VaLentine in a studio, a lot of people were kind of like talking smack about his music. I said I didn't care too much for that song and his music, but I will not deny that the man can sing. He can sing. Mickey Lighty says he got an updo. Look at that. Look at the sparklers. And that's not all. Wait for it. If y'all haven't seen this, the sparklers, the tiki torches, the candles, that's not everything. Just when he says yes. Look at this. How are you gonna top this proposal? This is like the proposal of the year. Just when he says yes, the fireworks, like this is supposed to be reality television, but you couldn't script this better. Like, VaLentine, you couldn't script this better. You couldn't time this better than what we're witnessing here. Putting everybody to shame, putting all the other men's proposals to shame. And I know Carlos was loving this. I mean, he had to love this. Really, really beautiful. I didn't notice it. He was holding him. It almost looked like he was grabbing his butt, but he wasn't. He was holding the box with the rings in it. Yeah, and also look at how these shirts are fitting them. This is all I wanted. Just yesterday we were talking about the reunion, and most of the men on there had ill-fitting clothes. Why are you? Neither one of these gentlemen are wearing ill-fitting shirts. I feel how I feel about extra tight pants. Doesn't necessarily mean they're ill-fitting. It's just not my preferred style to see the extra tight pants. But the shirts, this is the way. What's his name? I wanted to call him Hank the Tank. Patrick's shirt should have fit. But yeah, this was beautiful. And I think I put in a default picture that later it's revealed that Carlos's family was there to witness the whole thing, which was really, really lovely. I put that in the thumbnail, but I'm going to bring it back up again so we can get a better look at it, because there was something else that VaLentine really thought of everything when he did this. Because if you recall, VaLentine does not drink. There's one image of the family, VaLentine revealing that his family witnessed the proposal, which is really, really great. So that I'm sure Carlos really loved. And then I do have, when they were having dinner together, there it is. And if you notice here, what VaLentine remembered was to also have a bottle of champagne for Carlos, his sister, and his cousin. Was it Hanner? I think his cousin's name is Hanner. And I thought that was something really, thoughtful, because, like I said, VaLentine doesn't drink alcohol at all, but he still made the effort to get some champagne for the other 3 people to drink. That's what's up. Tony says, that's why I'm finding a tailor. I have too many ill-fitting button-ups now. Foaming Elijah says, too tight pants will give you a yeast infection. Well, for women, yes, but I don't know what they'll do for men. Although I have read that the reason why the testicles hang outside the body is because they're supposed to have a lower temperature than your core body temperature. And by wearing tight pants, that heats up your testicular temperature and can lower your sperm count. That's just something I heard on the internet. Do with that what you will. I'm not a doctor. It is not medical advice. Just something I read. Don't want to say anything else. Oh, yeah, they did have a really, really sweet goodbye at the airport. And again, this is how we all feel now. Now this imagery makes even more sense when I put it up, of his sister saying, this is so beautiful. Her expression, everything right now, that's how I felt when I was watching it. That's how I felt. Let me see here. I think what I'm going to have to eventually do, I've been avoiding doing it, is there's like an app where you can make a slideshow to put your slides in order, but I haven't downloaded that app and I haven't tested it out yet, but I think I might do it next week, just so that it's quicker and easier for me to transition than to scroll through how I've been scrolling through today, because I feel like this feels a little janky and I want to improve upon that. So forgive me for this janky stream. I will do better. So at the airport, they say their goodbyes, and it was really, really sweet. And this scene right here, when Carlos was wiping VaLentine's tears, it was just so beautiful. Like, how can you not like that? That's just, I'm rooting for them. I hope that they're able to fix their sexual incompatibilities, and because everything else is working for them. Every other part of their relationship is working except for that one thing. So hopefully they can find a way to overcome that, because I'm rooting for them. And it being a reality show, it could be totally made up, but I don't care if it's made up. I feel like they just did something really, really, really cool. It's a good story. I'd rather see their made, if it comes out that this is a made up story, it's 10 times better, a better made up story than Jibri and Miona's made up story, or Bilal and Shida's made up story. Tony says, it's also nice when people that do drink remember the person that doesn't drink as well. Yes. This is true. So before I close out, y'all let me know if there's anything I missed and I forgot to talk about. But I will be back on later tonight. I will be talking about 90 Day Fiance UK um recap group, basically episodes 2 through 4, because not a whole hell of a lot happened in episodes 2 and 3, so it's mostly going to be episode 4, because they really stretch. You know how 90 Day does. The first 3 episodes, they always stretch out the introductions. The first 3 episodes really could be condensed into one episode, but they always do that to us. They stretch it out over weeks. And as you can see, some messiness ensued between episodes 3 and 4. So we'll talk about that later today. Other things coming up this week for me, let me let you know. Let me go this way. All right, there it is. On Thursday, I will be on my other channel, What Did I Just Watch, at 4:15 again, but we are going to talk about episodes 4 and 5 of Hellbound, and also Ju-on Origins, because I really need to get caught up, because I want to finish Hellbound and Ju-on Origins by the end of August. So this week I'm going to do those 2 episodes, and then next week I'll do the season finales of Hellbound and Ju-on, because I really want to finish those up for August. And that's going to be Thursday on What Did I Just Watch. By the way, you might want to tune in as well to Hood Podcast tonight. Chris is going to be on there, and she is going to be talking about Westworld. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, I believe you guys are talking about the season finale of Westworld tonight, and that's also going to be at 7 o'clock. Or, well, actually, I think it's going to post later than 7 o'clock. It's going to post probably at 9 o'clock. The Hood Podcast review for Westworld. And then for Friday, I'm going to be talking about RRR, which is a South Indian action historical epic. And then Carter, which is a South Korean action extravaganza. And then we'll also talk about Prey and just how it caught me by surprise. It really did caught me by surprise. But we're going to talk about these 3 movies that are all streaming, by the way. 2 of them are RRR and Carter on Netflix, and Prey is on Hulu. So, I mean, I'm here for that. Chris says Westworld recap tonight. Yes, so check that out on Hood Podcast. That is, if it doesn't come right away, just type in VTH and then JREMY, and you'll see Hood Podcast pop up. And they're going to talk about Westworld tonight at 7 o'clock. Tommy says, by the way, I know for certain why nuts hang low in heat and shrink up in cold. It's to maintain proper, I'm sure that's meant to say proper ball temperature. Tony Man says, Chris needs a Hood cooking show. She could do so many things as far as like home, like Better Homes and Gardens type of things. I would watch a show with Chris teaching us how to cook. I would also watch a gardening show, because she has a green thumb and she's able to grow about anything. But definitely I would watch that. Foamy Key Light says, Westworld been on forever. Yeah, well, this is the latest season. I don't know which season it is, maybe 4, if I'm not mistaken. Tony says 1 out of 3 I enjoyed because it was believable. Which 1 out of 3 are you talking? Are you talking about the 3 movies that I have on the screen? Because you have to watch RRR. Chris says, if I could get paid enough to quit my job, haha. Yep. That's the hardest transition. But definitely check out, if you guys get the chance, check out RRR. It is a really good. It's got everything. It's got action. It's got a little bit of comedy. It's got romance. It even, well, being that it is an Indian film, It has some music and dance too. Not as much as Bollywood. It has less dance numbers than Bollywood, but the dance numbers that they have are well placed. It's not just an out of nowhere we're dancing. They actually go to a party where people are dancing, and then that's when the dance number happens. And that, to me, that makes more sense than when sometimes in Bollywood they'll just put a dance number anywhere. This is not a Bollywood film. I think this is called, I forgot the production system, but it's not Bollywood. But it's an amazing film, in my opinion. Carter, action packed, like I said. Check it out if you like action. If you like stuff like The Matrix and John Wick, I think you really like Carter. And Prey, I mean, we got to get into Prey. It's probably my second favorite Predator sequel, second to Predator 2. And I'll get into why I love Predator 2 on What Did I Just Watch on Friday. Tony says, Pray, yes. Is there a people mower like the other one? On RRR, no, there's not a people mower, but there are scenes with animals. Like if you want to see a person literally fight a tiger, I would definitely check out RRR. But RRR, because it has some basis in history, it does tell about a time period in India where uh, British the British royals were trying to colonize India. So a lot of people are kind of comparing it more so to Black Panther, because in Black Panther you have action and you have a lot of fantastical elements, but there are some historical elements, like when in Black Panther, when they showed the slave trade, the people being taken from Africa and being placed in the slave trade in America. So I would definitely compare RRR to Black Panther in that way. And with that, I think I'll get out of here because I am kind of hungry now. I gotta go. It's after 5 o'clock here where I'm at. Thank you guys for coming through. I really appreciate it. I didn't do, or should I? Do you guys want me to look at the tweets real quick before I go, or should I just close out? You guys let me know. It's already 5:15. No, I'll do it next time. I will promise that I will have some tweets next time, because for this particular episode, because I'm so many episodes behind, I didn't look on Twitter because I didn't want to get spoiled, before I could watch the episodes. But for the live stream tonight, I will try to include some tweets for 90 Day UK. In 90 Day, do something about us not having a reunion show for Love in Paradise. That's a problem. We need a reunion show. I want to know what's going on. And with that, I'm out.